This is a call to order for the Wyoming City Council meeting of Monday, December 1st, 2025. First item of business is the invocation. Tonight by Rick Polisi from Grace Christian University. If you wish and are able, please stand for the invocation. The pledge will follow.
Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, thank you on behalf of all who have gathered here tonight. We thank you for the gift of life and in our community, the opportunity to serve the people of our great city. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint and to discern your will and work to create a strong and healthy community. Guide us to be the leaders your people need. I pray for each person here for personal peace in their lives and joy in their tasks. Give each person charity, clarity of mind, creativity, compassion, due diligence, and integrity in what they are called to do. I pray for the blessings for our chief, Kim Koster, for whatever future brings for her. She has served our community with integrity for many years, and we are thankful. Pray for our Mayor Vanderwood as he continues to lead our community, and our first city manager, Fache, as he continues to lead this city council and others in this community. And I do pray for the levels of city officials that are here, in particular for the assembled council. I ask that you would grant them graciously wisdom to govern the conflicting interests and issues of our times. Give them a sense of welfare and true needs of our people, and for confidence in what is good and fitting. I pray for the agenda set before them tonight. As we finish out the year of this year in December, Lord, we're grateful and thankful. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around the beloved city of Wyoming. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's do the roll call.
Councilmember Arnoyes.
Here.
Brethauer.
Here.
DeKreiger.
Here.
Hill. Here. Postma.
Here.
Hostler. Here. Mayor.
Here. Approval of minutes. You were sent the minutes from the November 17, 2025 special meeting and regular meeting, and those will stand approved unless there is objection or changes that need to be made. Seeing none, those are approved. No public hearings tonight. Public comment on agenda item. Oh, we do. Skip right over that. Approval of agenda. Motion, please. Hill, support by DeKreiger. Let's call the roll.
Councilmember Hill.
Yes.
DeKreiger.
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
Brethauer.
Yes.
Postma.
Yes.
Hostler. Yes. Mayor.
Yes, sorry about that. Public comment on agenda items. This comment period is reserved for comment on agenda items only. If you wish to address the council, please hold your comments until the end of the meeting if it's about an item not on the agenda. It's important to note this is not an opportunity for dialogue or debate, but to provide comment to the city council. You have 3 minutes. Please give us your name and address when you approach the podium. Again, this is for agenda items only. Seeing none, let's move on. Presentations and proclamations. We have a very important presentation tonight. It's our audit presentation. John, would you like to introduce who's with us tonight?
I think it's Peter from Raymond and Associates. So they do our annual audit. They've done it for a number of years. You guys have heard their presentation before, and this will be for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2025.
Okay, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to briefly present on the annual comprehensive financial report. Special thanks to Jody and Kyle in the finance department and the rest of the finance team for a clean audit this year. So the report is over 200 pages long. If I was going to spend time reading it, I would focus on the letter of transmittal, which actually comes from the city manager, and the management's discussion and analysis. These are towards the beginning of the report. That's where I would focus my time reading and understanding the big changes from year to year within the city. Let's go over our audit opinions. So for that financial statement audit, we had an unmodified, which is a clean opinion. This is the highest opinion we could render as auditors. What that means is your financial statements are materially correct in all my financial respects. It's useful for decision making as of June 30, 2025. Obviously, some time has passed since then. There were no findings or reportable conditions at the financial statement level. We performed a federal single audit. The city spent about $1.5 million in federal funds this past year. We audited the coronavirus funds, which was about $779,000. Also, there were no findings or reportable conditions that we would bring to your attention. And then we always have a separate letter, which is a communication with governance, which talks about our responsibilities as auditors and management's responsibility for the financial statements. Last year, we had 3 recommendations. All those recommendations were implemented. There were no further recommendations this year. So again, a very clean audit this year. We'll focus here on the general fund. As you can see, a net change in fund balance of a decrease of about $700,000. Most of that is due to transfers out to public safety, which was about $19.7 million. Public safety also received transfers in from police, fire, and the first responders fund. So you see that $31.9 million in the public safety column. Unassigned fund balance of the general fund was $19.7 million, or 66% of annual general fund expenditures and transfers out. Next, we'll get into the general fund budget. So for the final budget, the city budgeted for a decrease of about $4.5 million. Actual results came in just as a decrease of about $700,000, so positive variance of about $3.8 million. More discussion of that is contained within management's discussion and analysis. The proprietary funds, so water and sewer. The net position of the water and sewer funds increased due to rate changes necessary to provide funding for large capital projects, such as the third water transmission main and the wastewater treatment plant headworks improvements. So you'll see an increase of almost 8.9 million in sewer and 8.1 million in water there. And then our conclusion. So the city's financial condition remains strong and stable. The city's debt remains manageable. 38.9 million was issued during the year, with a total of 76.7 million outstanding, and 5.2 million was repaid during the fiscal year 2025. Again, a special thanks to the finance department for a clean audit. And then if there's any questions, I can try and answer those now.
We'll receive a complete copy of that.
One was sent to you.
Yeah, we won't get a printed version, just that digital version.
Yeah.
Okay. Just, John, just reminding, we all have it, it was sent to all of us, so the full digitally. Questions? Council? Rob, you're smiling, you got one? You have anything? Thank you. Good.
Thank you.
Yep, that.
I do want to just thank the finance department. They put a lot of work into the audit every year. It's a lot of people hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of coordinating with the auditors. And so just shout out to Jody and her staff. They did a fantastic job to bring back a clean audit. So,
And we do have some of those members here in our audience tonight. So Kyle and Maggie are the drivers of the audit project. They work very closely with Peter to get him all of the information that he needs to make sure all of the accounts are reconciled. And then we also have Carrie, our new deputy finance director, here in the audience tonight. It's her first day. So this is a great meeting to come to.
Wow, first day. Glad you're on board. Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, let's move on then. We have no petitions or communications. We do have a report from the city manager, 25-13.
So City Manager Report 25-13 is for acceptance of an easement for 3901 Buchanan Avenue Southwest.
Get a motion, please. Motion by Postler, support by Postma.
we're just accepting a public utilities easement over Site 36 for water and sewer.
So pretty much got right. So Let's call the roll on that one.
Councilmember Postler,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
Breathauer,
Yes.
DeKreiger.
Yes.
Hill. Yes. Mayor.
Yes. Budget amendment A.
Budget amendment number 8 is to appropriate an additional $15,345.85 of budgetary authority for remaining 2020 Community Development Block Grant Program funds and recognize the associated grant revenue.
Motion, please. Motion by Krieger, support by Arnoyes. This one may be worthy of a little bit of an explanation.
It's really using 15,000 of actually for some old COVID funds from way back in 2020 for our community development block grant related activities.
Okay.
So it's really sort of net neutral. We'll use 15,000 of that funds and we'll spend it on those activities. So it's
Okay.
net neutral to us.
Okay. I would just ask one question of Nicole, maybe then perhaps. How was it decided where those additional funds that were left over from 2020 would go?
So these were actually funds that were specific to CDBG. They were received from the city for CDBG and dated as coronavirus funds. And so they're just simply being pulled forward into the existing CDBG budget and will be distributed through that.
Okay. Did I see that they're going to home repair services though, or not? Is that different?
So that is a separate set of funds.
Separate set? Okay.
You'll see that later in the
So will we know where this was distributed once it's done?
Yes, once a contract's reached with the nonprofit that will receive them, that will come before council.
Okay, okay. Any questions?
How much more is in this fund? Or is this it?
So this is it. So the CDBG CV funds, coronavirus funds, this was all that was remaining. And so we're just pulling them forward to spend the rest of them down.
Okay, and you said it's going to a charity?
It'll go to a nonprofit organization serving Wyoming residents.
Okay, but we'll hear more about that later?
You will, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let's call the roll.
Councilmember DeKreiger,
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
Breathauer,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Postler,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes, consent agenda. Get a motion, please. Motion by Postler, support by Postma. A couple of committee assignments or appointments being made here. Let's call the roll on that.
Councilmember Postler,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
Breathauer,
Yes.
DeKreiger,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Resolutions. Let's take C and D together, please.
Resolution C is to establish and change certain regular city council meeting dates in the 2026 calendar year. And Resolution D is to set meeting days and times for the City of Wyoming boards and commissions.
Motion, please. Motion by DeKreiger, support by Hill. Anything highlight, John, on that? I know we talked about this in the past and
It's just as
customary thing we do.
Yeah, just to comply with the Open Meetings Act, we lay out our schedule for the boards and commissions as well as the city council meetings. So those will be on the first and third Monday for council meetings, with the exception of one in January and one in September. September's Labor Day, and the one in January was to move it a day after Martin Luther King Day.
And that's the second meeting in January.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions? Let's call the roll.
Councilmember DeKreiger,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
Breathauer,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Postler,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Let's do resolution E, please.
Resolution E is to grant preliminary plat tentative approval for Phase 1 Salmon View plat.
Motion from Postma, support by Breathauer. What's the background on that?
So this is something council's familiar with. This came before the council when we were going to develop this development into PUD 4 standards. I think the total development would be just over 200 single-family housing units. This first phase is 36 units, and it's to grant the first of 3 approval phases, tentative approval of the preliminary plat. And that looks really at basic lot sizes, street orientation, that type of thing. And so this phase 1 is involving 36 of those lots. I believe 19 of them will be the 50-foot wide lots and 17 of them would be 70-foot lots. And this would be granting tentative approval of those lot sizes and orientation for these single-family homes.
So are we receiving this from the planning commission or?
Yep, and it was a unanimous recommendation from the planning
That's what I
commission.
thought. So any questions for John on this or Nicole? You're still wearing that planning hat a little bit, aren't you? At least for a bit. Congratulations, by the way. This is your first meeting as deputy city manager. Let's call the roll then. There's no questions.
Councilmember Postma,
Yes.
Brethauer,
Yes.
Arnoyes,
Yes.
DeKreiger,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Hostler,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Award of bids, contracts, purchases, and renewal of bids and contracts. Letter F, please.
Resolution F is to authorize the city manager to execute an amended contract with Home Repair Services of Kent County, Inc.
Motion by Postler, support by Brethauer. I think this is the one that I was,
Yep, this was what you were referring to, and as we looked, as you know, we're looking to transition this program over to Kent County next year. So prior to that, we're trying to spend down our funds to those households in Wyoming that could use it, and this would be amending a contract with to provide. Trying to find the name of it, but Home Repair Services, an additional $30,000 that could provide home repairs to about 10 households and possibly some accessibility modifications to those that may have physical disabilities. And so this would be allocating an additional $30,000 of those CDBG funds for those purposes.
that's great. So Nicole, for the benefit of the council members who maybe this is a little bit new to, and also the audience, what are some of those repairs? What kinds of things does Home Repair Services do for homeowners here in Wyoming?
So these are going to be more minor services, like a furnace repair, for example, minor roof patching, potentially some items more like that. If it was a larger item, that might qualify for our CDBG loan program, but this is traditionally smaller items.
Any questions? Let's call the roll.
Councilmember Postler,
Yes.
Brethauer,
Yes.
Arnoyes, DeKreiger,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Let's do award of bids, contracts, purchases. Letter G, please.
Resolution G is to accept amendment number 2 for automotive body repair services.
Motion, please. Motion by DeKreiger, support by Hill. This is,
So we're looking to extend by a year our contract with Auto Body Experts. They do auto body work for our city vehicles and equipment when they're involved in accidents. And, obviously depending on the amount of work is done, we'd expect to spend about $60,000 a year on auto body work.
But again, that's an estimate. It's a hourly fee that they pay us, and it's, if we have less
Where
repairs, we pay
them,
less. but-
Yes. Yep.
Question? Let's call the roll.
Councilmember DeKreiger,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Arnoyes, Brethauer,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Hostler,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Let's do award of bids, contracts, purchases. H, please.
Resolution H is to accept contract amendment number 2 for architectural and engineering design services.
Motion, please, by Postler, support by DeKreiger.
So as council recalls, council went on a tour of these two fire stations and to look at making improvements to the bunk areas, the living areas, the kitchen areas. Before you today is a proposal from TAG Architectural to perform the design work as well as the construction oversight work for the fire station on 36th Street as well as the Gazan Fire Station. And then once that's put together, we would go out for bids for the actual construction work.
Okay. Remind us again what the cost is on the
So-
drawing.
So the drawings for Station 1, the 36th Street station, is $30,000, and for Kazan, it would be $33,000.
Okay. Any questions for John or?
I just want to say those are really good numbers for what we're doing. I'm sure Dennis Hewer had something to do with it. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
Let's call the roll.
Councilmember Postler,
Yes.
DeKreiger,
Yes.
Arnoyes,
Yes.
Brethauer,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Postma,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Let's take I and J together.
Resolution I is to accept amendment number 1 for the drinking water plant pump repair and motor reconditioning project. And resolution J is for the purchase of a sludge grinder.
Motion, please. Motion by Postma, support by Brethauer.
So back in June, the council approved repairing one of the pumps in the low service building. This pump pumps raw Lake Michigan water from Lake Michigan to our treatment facility. And when they opened up the pump, and I believe this pump goes back to the 60s, it's one of the original ones, there was even more damage than what we anticipated. In fact, they had to cut into the pump to actually access a lot of the parts. So there'd be some additional work here that would increase the cost of repairing this pump from $120,000 to about $169,000. Keep in mind, this pump measures over 50 feet in length and is powered by a 600 horsepower motor. So it's a huge pump that can pump 22 million gallons a day. So it's quite
It's a lot.
large.
And then the sludge grinder, is that?
Oh, sorry. Yep. At the wastewater treatment plant, we have a sludge, I think they usually call them muffin monsters, but a sludge grinder that, I think that's what they call them actually.
Muffin Mines?
Yeah, they grind up debris and other things so they don't clog up pumps further downstream. The one we have from 2002 failed, and to replace that is just under $17,000.
Okay. Questions on either of those items to either John or to Aaron? Seeing none, call the roll.
Councilmember Postma,
Yes.
Brethauer,
Yes.
Arnoyes,
Yes.
DeKreiger,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Postler,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Letter K, please.
Resolution K is for award of bids of wellness and fitness services, occupational and employment health assessment services, and Lemery Park post-tension court project.
Motion, please. Motion by Arnoyes, support by DeKreiger.
So the first one, if the council recalls, back in October, you approved a grant agreement for this work or hiring this company to provide injury prevention and other return to fitness type services. This grant would pay for that, as well as exercise equipment would cover 90% of that cost. So we went out to bid, received 2 bids for this service, and Humatix was the low bidder. They provide this type of service to other fire departments in the area. And we'll be coming back at a future meeting for a proposal for the actual workout equipment as well. And then the second part is we've been using Med1 for our pre-employment physicals, drug screens, that type of thing. We went out to bids and they submitted the low bid again. So we're looking to enter into a 3-year contract with them that we would usually spend about $68,000 a year for that type of service. And then the last one is the Lemery Park court project. So this is somewhat similar to what we did at Pinery Park, but this would be to install at Lemery Park 6 pickleball courts, 1 tennis court, and 1 full court basketball court. Went out to bids and received the bids, and they're recommending the low bid at $547,500 for that.
Now, these are not refurbished courts and areas, but new?
New,
Like this-
and they
we're talking
use
in addition to everything that's already there.
well, I'd be replacing what's there.
Oh, replacing.
But it uses, and I'm not an engineer by any stretch, but it uses these cables that they put in the concrete, and then they pull them tight to actually provide further strength to the concrete to prevent it from settling and cracking and so forth. And,
Mhm. Yeah.
we've been now just about a year, maybe a little over a year at Pinery Park, I think, and it's been a good result so far.
Okay. Okay. Questions?
Well, I have a question about the athletic trainer we're hiring. And my question is, if there's an injury to one of our firefighters, what physician is he working under for rehab services? You probably should be going to Med One for that, and non-athletic trainer, because he has to work under a physician. So that is my biggest concern.
So the vendor through Humatics, he actually has a doctor through Metro Health that he works directly under for his scope, but we still would be utilizing Med One for any workers' comp claims. He would just be the facilitator to help somebody get back to work a little bit faster through some workout programs.
Okay, because what happens is you get into some medical professional problems with a physical therapist, occupational therapist versus an athletic trainer. So I just want to make sure there can be some nice tension going on.
This is still, if somebody has to go through physical therapy, they'd still be going through Med One.
Okay.
This person would just be helping, like if they went to physical therapy on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he'd be available for Tuesday, Thursday if they were going to continue doing the same scope, like the same exact thing that Med One was prescribing someone to do at home. They could come in and do it at that time.
Okay. There's a licensing big issue between that. I just wanted to make everybody aware. So believe me, been in this practice for 35 years. So I know some of the problems that can happen. So, and does he have malpractice insurance?
Yes, that was all vetted through the city attorney to make sure that his contract was on track.
Okay. I just wanted to bring that up. That was my major concern with this. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you for researching that and bringing it up.
Oh,
So you comfortable
well-
now with the answers?
I have a big problem when another like athletic trainer, personal trainer comes in and usurps my authority. So that's my biggest concern, because we can cause more injury and then it can go to court and it's a whole mess, especially with workers' comp. That can get really ugly. So I think just for healthy folks, let's get them up, get them running, get them healthier, get them in better shape. But if there is an injury, that really needs to be at the discretion of the physical therapist and the Med One physician who we're contracting to. Because if there's an issue, it can get ugly down the road. So I worked in workers' comp, occupational med, a lot of my career. So with a bunch of the vendors around here. So I know what can happen.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, with that, let's call the roll.
Councilmember.
Oh, sorry.
I have questions on Lemery, so
I'm sorry, Rob.
that's okay. I sent through an email earlier today just inquiring about the soils at Lemery, because there's and I'm excited for this project because I play pickleball there, not real often, but occasionally. There's a crack running through the one court there from settling, and then by the net, it's also settled. That's substantial, and I'm wondering what vetting has happened to assure that we're not going to run into that problem, because it doesn't look like they've accounted for that. They're just saying they're planning on the soils being okay. And I'm wondering if you can address that. If there's something that I didn't read in here that has taken care of that, or if we're looking at potentially extra cost, if that is an issue.
Gershon's finding her way up to the front here to set our minds at ease, hopefully.
Yeah. So a part of the bid specs, a part of the bid requirements were that they do soil borings and do that soil preparation. So that will be on the contractor to do that work beforehand. What is unique about what, as John was explaining about the post-tension system, is that the cracking that you currently see is not something that typically happens with this kind of system. So despite what the soil is like underneath it, it's almost like the entire slab it's made to be able to sit on top of an area where the sediment could move or change and stay whole. So the cracking that you see now is just because it's just concrete on top of a really small level of base that's there, but it's not the same type of system. Or the system is made for soils that are going to move and change throughout.
So the warranty against that type of cracking?
Yes.
If they do the soil borings and check it
Yes.
and it cracks later, they're going to come back and replace it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then my next question, this is a little bit unique the way this was done, so it sounds a little bit like design build to me. There's a caveat in their write-up here that says that there are many options for the design and materials that are chosen for this proposal, but can be changed to better fit the desires of the city. If changes are made, the prices may increase. Were they given what you wanted?
Yes.
So you're not going to come back with
No.
changes to it later?
No.
Okay. That's all.
Good questions, Rob. Anyone else? Let's call the roll on those three items.
Councilmember Arnoyes.
Yes.
DeKreiger.
Yes.
Brethauer.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Postma.
Yes.
Hostler.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Ordinances 17-25.
Ordinance 17-25 is to amend Section 90-515 of the Code of the City of Wyoming by adding subsection 148 to rezone 138 36th Street Southwest from R4 Residential District to B2 General Business District. This ordinance is in first reading.
Motion, please. Motion by DeKreiger, support by Hill. John, can you give us a little explanation here?
This is a parcel at the southeast corner of Buchanan and 36th Street, just east of Site 36. And it would be to rezone a parcel from residential to general business. And then the owner would demolish that structure and expand an existing gas station that's located there. And this was a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Questions? Let's call the roll.
Councilmember DeKreiger.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
Brethauer.
Yes.
Postma.
Yes.
Hostler.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. 18-25, ordinance.
Ordinance 18-25 is to amend zoning code sections 90-206 definitions F, 90-7008 specific sign requirements, non-residential districts. This ordinance is in first reading.
Motion by Brethauer, support by Postma.
This would just clarify some things in our sign ordinance, clarify some of the definitions and allow businesses, especially those that front an expressway, more options to install a wall sign on the wall that faces the expressway than they do now. So it would open up some greater possibilities and options for them.
Okay. Questions, concerns? Sheldon?
Was there some input from these businesses that wanted to do this?
Yes, this is a result of conversations with businesses primarily located along US 131 who would like to see, instead of the large pylon signs, would like the opportunity to put the signage directly on their building instead.
That makes sense from their standpoint there. Let's call the roll.
Councilmember Brethauer.
Yes.
Postma.
Yes.
Arnoyes.
Yes.
DeKreiger.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Hostler.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes. Any informational material tonight we need to pass on?
No, just wanted to welcome or congratulate Nicole on her first day as deputy city manager. So she's hit the ground running and really happy to have her in that position. So
You have a busy day today?
all right.
Again, welcome. Acknowledgement of visitors. This public comment period is an opportunity to share concerns or present topics to the city council that were not part of this meeting's agenda. This is not an opportunity for dialogue with the council. The council may make referrals or request staff to follow up. Please provide your name and address when approaching the podium. There's a 3-minute limit per person. Who would like to address the council tonight on any matter at all? Well, I guess it's that time of year. People are not having a lot of questions. So with that, let's go around the council. We'll start with Mr. Postma over there.
Just a thanks to Jody and her team again. Clean audit is always something that we want to see. I don't know what's going on over there, but
Just ignore the man behind the curtain.
but I think it shows well on the city that the audit was so clean, and it makes our job easy. It gives us a lot of confidence in what's going on behind the scenes. So thankful for that. That's all.
Councilmember Breathauer?
Follow up also thank to Reman for the time and effort they put in, making sure we're on the straight and narrow. Congratulations again, Nicole. And I'm looking forward to the Winterfest on Friday.
Where your hat?
I will. I don't have mine lights up, so it'll be slightly different.
These are Menards for $8.99.
Yeah, I'll just echo. It feels really good to be working as part of a city where it's like the default that we always have a clean audit. Like in my 9 years, I don't recall us ever not having a clean audit. So I don't want to say when they come and say, "Oh yeah, here's your audit," that immediately my brain's like, "Oh, of course it's clean." But it feels good to be able to take that kind of thing for granted because we always do have a clean audit. So very, very thankful. And yes, congratulations, Nicole. Very well deserved. Excited to see what greater impact you can have in your new position because you've been killing it in all of your previous ones.
Mr. Arnoyes?
Just again excited with all the great happenings here that's happening at the city with the talented team that we have, and again just to sign the book record with everybody else, just the tremendous work that all of you have done to lead us through that great financial situation. Fantastic reporting. That's wonderful to see. Also to see Nicole stepping into her new role of exciting. Marcy, you said it best. It's on, isn't it?
No.
Oh my
No, it isn't.
word.
Repeat it.
I have been talking without a microphone all day. I apologize. But just, yeah, you've done so well in all your other endeavors, and you're going to do great in this new role, and we're excited about that. And then just a big thank you to Chief Coster and all of her many years of service that she's had, the impact that she's had, the leadership that she's put into the city. Wishing her nothing but the best and many blessings ahead. And we're in great hands going forward. So excited about the new opportunities that'll be ahead as well here at the city. So, and then one final thing, just to anybody listening in the audience, online or home, anybody wants to help out a great charity, I'm on the Salvation Army board. We ring bells right now. It's the great campaign for it. So I'll be doing it December 17 at the Family Fair here on by Metro Health. Anybody wants to join me, we'll take volunteers for that. But thank you all, and it's a great holiday season ahead.
Am I on? Okay.
Yes, I'm not.
Well, I'll play the broken record. Jody, thanks again for your audit and your team. Thank you guys. Like Marissa said, we don't seem to ever have to worry about our audit because it always comes back good, and that's fantastic. It makes our job easier, like Rob said. And Nicole, you're a known quantity, and we like what we have, and welcome, and congratulations. I am, as many of you know, part of the Historical Commission. I'm the liaison for it, and we annually sell calendars. And I regret to inform you that I don't have any with me, but we actually have them, and they're for sale. Do we have any here at City Hall? Okay, well, if you don't have them, we don't have them here yet. I'm going to try to get them into somebody's hands here at City Hall, but I will have some in 2 weeks when we reconvene, and they're $10 a piece, and I would love to sell one to everybody. Once again, this is part of how we raise funds to keep our Historical Commission going, and it's also a great piece of history. We usually have a couple pictures, things that have happened in Wyoming. There's been a lot of cool things that have happened. We try to put out a different calendar every year, so if you can help us with that in 2 weeks, that would be awesome.
And again, yeah, kudos to our wonderful finance team and Nicole. And we're going to have hard, big shoes to fill in your old position. So, but looking forward to whoever that's going to be. I went today, brought my 4-year-old grandson to Mermaid Bay. I didn't know about it. It's across the street and in Rogers Plaza. Great fun with a underwater theme and pirates and mermaids for little kids. He had an absolute blast. I talked to the owner and his wife. I didn't even know anything about it. We found it on Facebook yesterday. His ribbon cutting and grand opening is December 11. I gave him your emails to be available for ribbon cutting. I think that'll be fun. Pirate and Mermaid will be there for pictures. The kids can dress up too and have pictures. Oh my word, so much fun. 4 o'clock, December 11th. So how fun is that? And we're looking forward to Friday and Saturday, the Wyoming Wrap Up. Is it still called Wrap Up?
Oh,
No,
Wyoming Winter Wonderland.
Wyoming Winter Wonderland. So it's going to be a fun festival. Oh yeah, I'm stealing Mr. Mayor's thunder. Anyway, I'll let him talk about that. But anyway, looking forward to the calendars next time. We love that.
So there is a wrap-up portion. We still want you to bring unwrapped items of clothing, winter clothing, scarves, hats, mittens, gloves, and they will all go to Wyoming community school, neighboring schools to distribute to families and children in need. So you can bring those items with you. It's Friday from 6 to 8. That's the Wyoming Winter Wonderland. Wyoming Honors Choir and Jazz Band will both be there. Photos with Santa, Artisan Market. I know that there's going to be food and items of that nature too. And then on Saturday, we continue with the Holiday Artisans Market from 9 to 2. So it's Friday and Saturday at the new marketplace. Question on the 17th, does that include like hot cocoa or coffee or anything if we stand there and get cold? If we come, maybe? Okay, well, I want to help you out in this cold. I want to have something to warm my hands. Curbside yard waste pickup. Winter weather came early this year, but if you have extra leaves, don't forget our annual curbside leaf pickup this Saturday, December 6th at 6 a.m. Is that right? Got to have them out there by 6 a.m. if they're going to get picked up.
Is there a limit to how many bags of leaves we can put out?
No.
Well,
Do they have to be in a particular type of bag?
They do need to be in the brown paper bags, yes.
That's also on our website and Facebook page, as is the Winter Wonderland details. And then last of all, odd even parking. Always a fun thing to remind our residents of. It came to be today. It goes into effect today, December 1st, runs through March 31st. The ordinance requires residents to alternate which side of the street they park on from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. to help our snowplow drivers clear the roads for you and create space for emergency vehicles. So that's all we have tonight. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.